Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about Oedipus Rex. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. All right, Oedipus Rex. Very disturbing work here. Within this work, we're following the story of Oedipus. Now, Oedipus, before he was born, there was a prophecy put on his life that he would kill his father and marry his mother, and that's exactly what happens within this work. There's in the modern day, the story of Oedipus is something that you find in movies, um, in poems, in plays. It's all over the place. It's one of the most well-known stories of all time. Basically, Oedipus's parents, Laius and Jocasta, they tried to kill Oedipus, when he's born, but he doesn't die. Oedipus grows up away from them, and then, not knowing who his true parents are, he makes it back to them, and he does kill his father on the road, and then he does marry his mother and has kids with her. Now, within the work, what happens is in the city of Thebes, or in Thebes, there's a plague, and nothing will grow. Not the crops, not babies, not nothing. Nothing will grow. And the people are telling Oedipus, listen, things are not good. We need help. What's going on? And well, Oedipus, he goes and contacts magical sources, because especially around this time, a lot of people believe in the mystical world, the spirit world, and Oedipus gets this blind seer, this blind, I guess today we would call them witch doctors, but he goes to one of those. He sent people to one of those to tell him what's going on. And the story that he gets is that, well, whoever killed Laius is in their midst. The person is there. And ultimately, it's revealed to him that he's the one that killed his father. Now, of course, Oedipus didn't believe this when he gets the news. So it becomes, law and order, basically, where Oedipus is trying to figure out who did it, who's the true killer. And slowly he does uncover, figures out that he was the one that killed Laius and did indeed, in fact, marry his own mother and had children by her. In the end, Jocasta, she commits suicide. Oedipus blinds himself, and he awaits for his, what's going to become of him. He wants to hug his daughters and, his children before anything happens to him, of course. But it's all a tragedy by the end. In terms of deeper meaning and analysis, I mean, this story, again, it goes back for centuries. People have been using it or parts of it for a very long time. And it's quite nasty because this guy married his own mother and had children with his own mother. And Jocasta, she had to sleep with her own son. So the level of incest is nasty. And you can imagine the people are horrified. It's still the reason why this story has lasted so long. It's because of its shock value, the way in which this horrific marriage happens, and the way that, well, this is the king and queen. They've been doing things for a long time, and that's just it's just unnerving. And Oedipus, he takes out his eyes because there's just certain things that he should have never seen. Or it's also The horror of what's been done. This depicts like the wickedness in between what happened, the tragedy in between what happened. Um, him killing his father and taking his mother. It's horrific, and the people of, well, I guess his people were shocked. You can imagine what the lives of the children are going to be like because these are incest babies. Um, so it's all horrific. It's all nasty all around, and you know the you know the Oedipus idea, or the idea of Oedipus now, in terms of deeper meaning, it's not pretty. I mean, it's just completely um, taken for something that the most wicked thing can be done. I mean, there's different ways of interpreting it. People have interpreted it in many different ways. But the sequence of events between the mother hanging herself, Oedipus poking out his eyes, the father dying by the hands of the son, it's just a tragic. It's probably the most tragic thing you could ever think of, the destruction and the horror of this family. But the other thing is, it was a prophecy that this would happen. So it's almost like these people were destined for this to happen to them. That's the other thing that's kind of deep, is that Oedipus couldn't avoid his fate. Before he was born, it was set in stone. So no matter how much the parents tried to avoid it, they even tried to kill Oedipus. No matter how much they tried, them trying is the thing that made it happen. And I think even if they didn't try, it would still have happened. So this also kind of proves you the level of influence of the gods within the time period that Sophocles wrote this. Is that the people really truly believe if the gods that they believed in, if they wanted to do something to you, they could. That you had no say over the circumstance of your life. And that's why this is also so deep. It's like no matter how hard these people tried, this was going to happen. So that's quite deep in of itself, because Oedipus slowly realizes that exactly what the prophecy said, he did it to the T. Every single thing that was supposed to happen, it happened, and he was just playing his part. So there's so many layers you can dig into this and find more details that has a lot to say about Oedipus himself, the mother, the whole storyline. But at the same time, I think the biggest question is, well, is there an underlying thing here saying that you can't avoid what is set up for you? Is there a thing within the universe that governs our choices? Although the play is not specifically answering that question, for me, when I interpret it, when I look at it, there's a deeper meaning of, well, is destiny destiny? I mean, can we do anything to change our destinies, or is our fate locked in before we're born? So that's a deep question. I think Oedipus kind of goes at. I mean, people always get, stuck within the incest and the mother and the father and the prophecy itself, but I think there's a deeper question of how much do that spirit world play within human lives? Is it just us and our thoughts and our ideologies, our beliefs, or is there something deeper? So I enjoyed that part of the interpretation better. Of course, there's so many people that focus on the psychology, or because the field of psychology takes the Oedipus complex and the whole Oedipus thing to a whole other realm with the brain and things like that. But I think from the spiritual side, this definitely begs the question of, are there other powerful things that play a role in the decisions that we make? And is fate something that is locked in, and once it's set, can you change it or not? So that's a deep question worth thinking about and looking at within this work. All right, that's all I have to say about this. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.